Yeah! Here we go!
It's time for TSS Fantasy.
It is Commissioner Cooper.
Hold on. That's a big balls move. Do you want your title?
Happy Sunday, happy early morning trash football game.
Yes! We're back, baby! Let's go!
Feud with Aaron Rodgers. I almost got banned off TikTok for the thing that he did.
Apparent MCL sprain on his knee. He has had some nagging hamstring issues over the years.
Listen, my beloved Jets are trash.
And we're back, baby. Let's go. TSS Fantasy back in your house, and we're loving it. And if you're watching the Oscars right now, just put us on your phone, put us in the background. We're going to be talking about your favorite free agency studs. It's the Jester and Jesus show. I'm your Jesus. That's your Jester. Give me a yeah, Freddie. Give me a yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my screen, but I hear you. I'm here. Trust me. I will be back on in a second. But let's get it started. Let's go.
Well, you might not be able to see us, Freddie, but we can see you. And I mean, shoot, man, I've been excited about this for a minute. You told me, hey, let's get a free agency show going. And I was just perusing free agency this week and just excited to get talking about it. But as usual, guys, you know us. We're always trying to hook you up with the deals. So right now, go to fastdraftapp.com and sign up. You can get up to $50 match because it's never too early to get your drafts going, especially when free agency starts hitting. You start going, oh, is that guy going to be good on my team? It's never too early. Remember that. Even if your wife says it's too early, it's never too early to get those fantasy football leagues up and going. And as always, if you're looking for your bling, you're looking for that championship belt, you want to represent. I know Freddie came so close to that championship belt last year, but he got too many. He knows all about this place. ProAmBelts.com. Go check them out. They really do make top of the line stuff, man. They make some of the best quality belts out there. And we just lost Fred for a second, but Fred's back. And, you know, Fred can attest to it. He could probably show you a couple of them. They are top notch, best quality out there. Even considering Trophy Smack, I think they're a lot better quality. But go check them out, Pro-Am Sports and our Pro-Am belts, and tell them that TSS sent you. And today we have a very special guest. We got Brian Scott coming on. He's going to tell us all about his trip to the Combine. He's going to give us a little of the scuttlebug on the Max Crosby stuff. So let me talk very much less, and let's get the doc on.
It's time to get your latest NFL injury updates with Brian from the Injured List podcast. The doctor is in.
Gentlemen,
Brian, being a Giants fan, you got to be happy, right? I mean, shit, everything's starting to come together for you guys. You're starting to get a little bit of offense around the kid. I mean, other than being a doctor, being a Giants fan's got to be like right up there, right?
Yeah, well, that carries with it its own stress. But I'm very excited, and I like the way things are going. I like the direction we're headed here in the offseason. Some nice moves they've made for sure. And it just goes to show you it's all about the head coaching. The GM, I don't know, man. Joe Schoen, I'm not sure what he's really doing, but Harbaugh is definitely influencing what's going on now because the Giants in years past would never made any of these moves.
Yeah, some are calling the New York Ravens, but hey, the Ravens are making the playoffs almost every year, so I think the Giants fans will take that.
That's right. They're not just cherry picking the guys that they need, and that's key.
That's key. That's 100%. Well, Brian, you went to the Combine. You were a guy on the site. So just, tell us all about your experience. Tell us about the guys you got to meet. Tell us about the interviews you had. Just let us in on what was a scuttlebug at the Combine.
So first of all, thanks to Deb Whitkiss of the Blonde Blitz, one of the other shows here on our network, that Sports Podcast Network. She is very well connected within the media landscape. She's doing some work with Sports Illustrated out in Los Angeles. She's also doing some work with the LA Rams and doing some reporting for them. So she's been very much connected in that world and was able to get media credentials for her and 2 other people, myself being one of them. So it was amazing experience to not just go to the combine, which I've done before, but this year we were able to go on media credentials, which was even better. So we had direct access to basically anybody and everybody you could imagine in and around the NFL, including the players doing their testing and everything there. So it was an awesome opportunity. I was able to ask questions of some of the guys that I actually did some injury analysis stuff on for my episode that I put out every year. And if you watch my episode, I actually did kind of like a documentary style where I kind of documented my trip to and from the combine and my experiences there behind the scenes and in the media room, interviewing players. They basically herd them around like cattle throughout the week and break them down by position. So every day there's a different position group that comes through the media center. They come through in special time allotments where they in a schedule basically where they'll march them out in front of the podium and basically the media's open-end game for questions, and they're usually kind of escorted around by an NFL handler or one of the scouting combine handlers. So they're on kind of a tight schedule. They make sure they hit the rounds of getting on the podium, getting to the bigger shows. Like Rich Eisen was there, set up with his studio. The NBC Sports guys were set up there, including Mike Florio, Chris Sims were there doing their show. So they'll take the players around to make sure they get their media exposure on the big shows. They'll also go to the podiums where basically any of the media can ask questions. And it was just awesome because you're up front and center. And then usually the latter half of the day for those position players is when they get on the field, or they'll do their medical screenings and all their other stuff, which is kind of more behind the scenes. Nobody really has access to that. But if you watch the video, you'll see I got to ask questions of Drew Aller, the Penn State quarterback, because he's coming off a major ankle injury and surgery that ended his season prematurely. So there was a lot of questions around his ankle and how he's recovering. Garrett Nussmeier from LSU, another quarterback that was battling some injuries throughout the year. A lot of questions about that. And some of the stuff I didn't even have to ask. A lot of it was volunteered by the players themselves because they knew it was going to be an issue, or some of the other media members were asking questions as well. So I just kind of listened in and got some information and see if I could kind of, decipher what they were really saying. So that was really great for me on that end, which allowed my analysis to really kind of be fine-tuned. Another player, for example, who I got to ask a direct question of was Nick Singleton, the running back out of Penn State. He's currently in the midst of recovering from a 5th metatarsal fracture in his foot that he had to have surgery on during the Senior Bowl when he got injured during practice for that. And he was still on a knee scooter. He wasn't even walking yet in his boot. So that told me right there that he was probably less than 4 weeks from when they actually did the surgery. And he said everything's coming together well and stuff, but he wasn't able to do anything at the combine, but he was there. So that was cool to see. And so it was a great experience. It's kind of funny being on the media side, even though I'm not a media member. I might have stuck out a little bit like a sore thumb because I probably didn't follow the rules or the etiquette as some of the media guys would, but be in check and make sure I didn't step out of bounds or do anything stupid. I did question and I got that camera. I did question Chris Sims of NBC Sports, former quarterback. He had a spleen rupture that almost killed him during his playing days. We talked a little bit about that. I interviewed Suriano, I think he's with CBS or Fox, I forget. And I just picked his brain about how he goes about, doing his draft analysis for players entering the league. So that was kind of cool. Got him on camera. It's hard to kind of pull the guys aside and get interviews with them individually. You would have to kind of like track them down in the hallway. And it seems like a lot of the media don't do that, which is kind of cool. They respect everyone's kind of downtime. The players have a set media time. But at the same time, you could be walking down the corridors of the convention center and you could be walking shoulder to shoulder with the GMs or the coaches or the players.
Right.
But I feel like everybody really respects their boundaries very well there. It's pretty laid back. Everyone's pretty cool about everything. But at the same time, they're not bum rushing players in the middle of the hallway, trying to do one-on-ones. You can politely ask. Some of the guys will say yes, but a lot of people don't do that, which I think is very much a respect thing and proper etiquette. So I didn't do that either. I didn't want to overstep.
Nobody wants to be the YouTuber who gets caught. Who gets
I don't want
caught
to
being
be
an
that
ass.
guy. I did not want to be that guy. But I tell you,
why is media not allowed on YouTube anymore? Why are the YouTubers not allowed anymore? Because this random freaking guy from that sports podcast.
That's right. I don't want to be the guy that screws it up for everybody else. You got it. So I was very careful about that.
I do have a question for you, though. Just because you were talking about Nick Singleton, obviously his combine, he's in a very explosive back. Guy came from Penn State. I was very excited to see what he had. And obviously, like you said, Senior Bowl. Did he at all in any of the questions get talked about like the possibilities of like draft slide and stuff like that? Is he very optimistic that wherever he lands, he's going to be able to compete?
Yeah, so
I
didn't hear anybody specifically ask him about whether he was concerned that he was going to slide in his draft pick, or where they at least had him projected. You could tell, though, that was the overall tone of the question and the answer session, because, a lot of times the media, and I don't include myself in that group, by the way, their questions were always about, where are you at in your recovery? Are you going to be ready for this? What is your timeline? And I know the answers to those questions. So I didn't ask that stuff. I wanted to know more about, like, psychologically, man, how you feeling? Are you bummed that you can't do anything here? What has this taught you about yourself that you didn't know before as far as recovering from this injury and surgery? So I was kind of more picking their brains from a mental side to see where they're at. And then I can kind of read into some of the clues based on their answers. But the regular, more traditional media guys that were there were all concerned about timelines and things like that. One thing I did get out of this, there was one of the tight ends, and his name, I think it was Cuevas from Arkansas or Alabama, the tight end from Alabama, Cuevas. He was coming off an injury too that caused him to miss some time. And I had a chance to ask him. He gave a great answer. He's like, listen, everybody knows I was out. Everybody knows I missed time because of an injury. And that's a question that I get from all the organizations and teams here. He's like, all I can do is tell them, hey, I'm good. I'm ready to go. It doesn't affect me, and show them, during the drills that I'm 100% and I'm good to go. And I think for me, with the players like Nick Singleton and all those guys, just from a mental point of view, you could tell that some of them were bummed they couldn't perform in the drills. I mean, Nick even said, he's like, I'm bummed that I can't do the physical part. He's like, but my teammates are here and they're doing it, and I'm here and they're supporting me and I'm supporting them, and we're cheering each other on and stuff. And he didn't seem too concerned about his physical. To be honest, I'm not overly concerned about him in particular when it comes to his longevity in the league because of this particular injury and a little setback. He had a Jones fracture. They fixed it. And 9 times out of 10 in athletes, you're going to fix it. It was just bad timing, really. But if you think about it, maybe it was the best timing, because he'll be ready come training camp. There's no doubt in my mind. Usually by 4 to 6 weeks, they'll let him start weight bearing. He'll start running and doing stuff by 6 to 8 weeks. Assuming everything goes well, that's healed, and there's no issues. That's a surgery that a lot of times we'll do anyway, regardless of whether we think it's not going to heal. There is like a 30% chance that those could not heal if you left it alone. So in athletes like Nick, you just do it. You fix it, try to wipe out that 30% non-union chance or rate by fixing it and guaranteeing that it's going to heal. And the timeline for those isn't bad. So I'm not really overly concerned about him from that standpoint. I just wanted to kind of get a feel for how he was feeling about it and how it affected him personally, mentally. And I was able to do that because I was in the media credential. So it's kind of cool.
That's awesome. I got one more question for you, Brian, because I remember that the Florida defensive tackle, Caleb Banks, they said that he actually got injured while he was there. I was just wondering, did you have any, and I think it was a metatarsal as well, did you have any like idea of like how long he was going to be out? Was there any chatter around, because obviously, unfortunately, he was looking like a first round pick. And when you have a broken foot, and I don't know if the rumor was that he did a couple drills even with the broken foot before he knew it was fully broken. And I just wanted to kind of get if you had any information on any of that.
So it's funny because I left on Saturday, or actually Friday afternoon, so I missed some of the on-field stuff with the more skill position players, but I was there for the linebackers, I was there for the tight ends and the offensive line or defensive line. One guy I remember injuring his hamstring during the 40. You could tell he pulled up. I think it was one of the linebackers. But you don't really hear about it much after that because at that point, their media time is over. They don't have to answer questions unless you're able to track them down somehow. So if they get injured while they're doing their on-field stuff, it's always after the media portion. So there really wasn't much to talk about except that they got hurt. Yeah, you don't really know the extent of it. I'm sure they got worked up, and I'm sure that if the teams wanted to, since they're there, they probably got access to everything right away, which may not even necessitate like a follow-up visit or exam. So the problem with Caleb Banks was apparently he had an issue in a similar issue with his foot during the season. So it's questionable about whether he had an injury that maybe got re-aggravated or he had a complication from a prior injury that got re-aggravated during the combine. But from what I read, that it was like a fourth metatarsal fracture, which is not a very common type of fracture you see. Usually it's the fifth met. So a little concerning in that regard that it's a little bit of an abnormal injury pattern. But as far as your question goes, you don't really hear much about specifics at the combine, and there's no way to ask them questions unless you're able to track them down and find them. And at that point, they're probably not going to answer questions if they got hurt during the drills. I can tell you the linebacker I saw get hurt with his hamstring. He pulled up, kind of grabbing his hamstring. He looked a little lame. I didn't see him the rest of the weekend. That was the end of him. He probably flew home and got treatment or did something to get out of there because his media portion was done, as all of them are once they get on the field and do their drills. So the media part by then is over.
That's awesome. Well, Fred, do you have any questions for Brian?
I mean, I want to know the good stuff. I want to know what he thought about, like, who really impressed him, like Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Carnell Tate. Like, who did you see that truly impressed you?
It's funny because, Freddie, in my career, I've usually been in the locker rooms. I've been on the sidelines, first as an athletic trainer, then as a PA now in orthopedic surgery. So I'm used to being around these athletes, like when they're not in pads, when they're not actively playing a game. And to me, all the drills at the combine are basically meaningless. I mean, yeah, it's nice to kind of put some statistics and numbers and get some objective data on them, but it in no way replicates actual game situations and game preparation, or how you basically react during the game to plays and how things develop on the field. I mean, yeah, the scouts love it, and it's a scout thing. It's not even run by the NFL. It's run by the scouting organizations, the combine. It's never been run by the NFL. It's an NFL sanctioned event, but it's put on and run by the scouts. So I think they take a lot of pride in it. They'll hype it up and say how important it is. But to be honest with you, from my perspective, it's a lot of hoopla over nothing. The medical portion of it, where they actually examine the players and do a lot of the testing and look at their medical histories and their medical records, for me, is what it's really about. And that was a big component of why it started in the first place, was so that the teams can have a central location to meet every year with all the potential draft picks and be able to look at their medical histories, do physical exams on them, see with their own medical staff present whether or not these guys pose potential long-term risk as an investment in their organization. And that's what it was originally started as. The drills were always a part of it. It just wasn't as popular or promoted or hyped up as it is today. We didn't see it on TV much, if at all. You didn't hear about it much, if at all, until more recent times. When it was started way back when, it was more about the behind the scenes stuff, interviewing the players, having them do their one tests. It was more about, hey, let's take a look. This guy banged up his knee this year and had surgery. We need to see how bad it is and whether we're getting the full story here. So that's what it really was originally. And for me, being on in the middle of it and being there live in person for me was kind of cool. There was a lot of medical stuff going on. Unfortunately, even I couldn't get in it. It's a very select group of people that are allowed to participate. The NFL has their own team physician group that has conferences and they have lectures there. You can't get in it unless you're a member, and you can only be a member if you're a team physician. So even I couldn't get into that stuff, which is kind of a bummer for me. But it goes to show you how tight-lipped everybody is and how much they keep that stuff, close to their belt. But overall, like you're meeting agents, you're meeting players, you're meeting head coaches, GMs, assistant coaches, position coaches. They're all there. They're all there participating, there to evaluate players, there to support players, there to support their organization. So it was pretty cool. Deb and I actually even did a segment with the guys who make the bench, the dragon seats are the benches that on the sidelines in the NFL. Those guys, they were there. They had their product there. So we were like, hey, let's talk to them, get them on camera. So it's just, there's a lot of stuff going on around it. It's not as kind of big as like the Super Bowl, but from like that perspective, but it's still pretty cool. And there's still other things going on outside there. So, but yeah, I watched my documentary. I did my episode as a documentary style. I hope you like it. I put it out last week when I got back, and it kind of gives you behind the scenes. It summarizes everything, my trip, my experience, and Deb's in it a little bit, and I highlight some of those things that we did together, like the Dragon Seat guys. So it's pretty cool.
And,
Nice.
and
That's gotta be awesome.
It's gonna be on the channel, right?
Yeah, so it's already up. It's been up for about a week now. It's up on the channel, That Sports Podcast Network on YouTube. And then if you want to hear the audio version, it's released on all the podcast stuff too.
Well, I know what I'm listening to on my drive to work tomorrow. Fred, do you have any more questions for Brian?
No, I can't wait to see Brian when it comes to the draft. See what he could tell us then if he has anything else new.
So take a look.
100%.
I mean, so probably the biggest player coming into the draft that I featured on the analysis that I did during my documentary style episode was Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State. So this dude is, projected number 1 wide receiver. Everyone's hyping him up. I have a lot of reservations. There's a lot of red flags in his medical. The guy had a pretty serious knee injury that cost him almost 2 seasons. He lost time last year due to a hamstring injury. So buyer beware is what I say when it comes to the draft, and you have guys coming in with injury histories. One of the famous guys I featured years ago was Brandon Ayuk. And we see what happened to your boy, Justin, this past season, coming off an ACL injury the year before. So
was it an ACL or was it a brain injury? I don't know. I don't know what takes you away from $27 million, your knee or your head.
Well, who knows? But he's a prime example of why I do my feature pre-draft injury special, because some of these guys are super talented. They have all the physical attributes. The combine, they shine. They look really good. Teams kind of get impressed by that. GMs get impressed by that. Head coaches sometimes get impressed to the point where I feel like they neglect the film, and they neglect the fact that these guys sometimes have lost a lot of time due to injuries. And 99% of the time, that translates over to the NFL. It doesn't go away. You don't all of a sudden go from major injuries at college level to no major injuries at the NFL level. It's a different game. It's much faster, much more of a higher impacts. The speed at which these guys play, the power with their hitting. You're talking about the best of the best now. It's not like you're playing, low-level college teams anymore. You're playing the best of the best at every position every weekend. So it's pretty rare that a guy will have an injury history and have lost time in college to injuries, enter the league, and then all of a sudden never get hurt. It just never happens. So buyer beware is what I always say when it comes time to the draft. You might have to sometimes bite the bullet and go past a player who might be the best one or number 1 on the board and go for somebody who is going to give you more availability, which is usually the best ability.
That's it. 1,000%. Well spoken in that one. Check out Brian's documentary-esque view through the combine. And as always, check out Brian's Injury List podcast. It is well informed. He is one of the best in the business. and he is our hidden gem here, honestly, at That Sports Podcast Network. Brian, we're going to send you out with NeuroGuard, and hopefully we're going to be seeing you on more future podcasts and hopefully a draft podcast very soon.
Yeah, well, I'm going to probably put out a little thing about the Max Crosby situation, because that was something we kind of touched on a little bit before we went live here.
Oh, you know what? I totally brushed past that. Yes.
Oh, that's okay.
Please give me a little synopsis on that, please. I want to hear from a doctor.
Okay, so my whole take on this, all right, just to try and summarize real quick. Did the Ravens, were they a little bit dirty-handed in this? Yes, I do think that they played their cards. Their poker face was definitely on. However, the league allows you to do that. You can bring a guy in, you can agree to a trade on paper, even, verbally. And if the medical doesn't look good, you can nix the deal. That's part of it. That's a perfectly legit thing to do. And the Ravens use that to their advantage. Now, whether or not they were waiting for Trey Hendrickson to become available, and that's why they decided to do it, were they really intentionally going to sign both of those guys? Or did they honestly not know the full extent of Max Crosby's issues until they were able to review all of his medical records? That's very possible. The real world answer is that most of these guys shouldn't have all their medical information shared with every team in the league. Nothing would ever get done. Everybody would know everything about all the players. I don't know how that would be possible when there's still HIPAA laws that apply to some degree. That means like all the doctors were talking with each other and stuff. And then what I found very odd was the fact that the Dallas Cowboy team physician, Dr. Daniel Cooper, was brought in as a consultant. And suddenly the Dallas Cowboys are now no longer interested in signing Max Crosby, even though before that happened, they were. So that to me raises a very big red flag. And I kind of wish the NFLPA would step in that situation and say, wait a minute, you can't have that. That's a conflict of interest right there. You can't have other head team physicians doing consulting work on a trade for a medical evaluation on a player within the league when your team could potentially be in the running to make a trade for that player or impact the possibility of that trade going through. So that to me actually was the bigger issue here as far as like why things played out the way they did. I have a feeling that probably raised a lot of red flags, maybe more than the Ravens even realized. And I do think, they said they were going for both guys. Maybe they were, but they used the trick, and that trick's legal. You can do it. Medical can nix a trade, man. Unfortunately, no people don't like it, but it's the fact. It's a fact. So did the Ravens, were they probably not as honest about things as they could have been and probably did a little dirty-handed move there? Yeah, they probably did. But you know what? If you don't like it, change the rules.
It's all legal, but you know what? At the end of the day, Max Crosby is just going to take it out on Lamar Jackson. That's just how it's going to happen.
Listen, he's not, and I will say, hearing the surgery he had, the injury he had, meniscus injury, meniscal repair. Apparently, there was some cartilage damage as well. He just started walking. He's been off of it for like 6 weeks. I mean, these are all major red flags. The injury itself is not a good one, especially when you're at the stage of his career Max Crosby is. I mean, he's 29. He's been in the league a long time. This is not like a benign injury. This is a injury that could potentially affect his career going forward. There's no guarantees that what they did during the procedure is going to take 100% and heal. So, I mean, I can understand that the Ravens, if the medical portion was more concerning than they originally thought, I can understand that. The sheer fact that they knew he had surgery, to me, that's not enough information. Until you get your hands on all the actual scans, the images from the procedure, you were able to see firsthand how they repaired it and what they did. It's all in the details. And until they get all those details, you can't make an accurate prediction or evaluation of the player. So I hear a lot of people say, well, they knew he had surgery. Yeah, that's only part of it. It's all in the details. Until you get all the details, you don't really know. You might know what surgery he had, and you might know when he had it, but until you know the details, the very specific and fine details of that surgery and procedure and stuff, you don't really know what you're getting. And so I can understand if that was true, that the Ravens, got a lot more information than they may have had beforehand and decided, hey, you know what, this is not worth it for us. I could get that from a medical point of view.
Yeah, and it seemed like they were just kind of looking at the investment as more than a 1-year investment. They were seeing it as 2 first-round picks. We need at least 2 years, and they weren't so sure about that. But I still think they're the Dirty Birds, not Atlanta. So, but thank you once again, Brian. We got to get to some free agency stuff, but we appreciate all of the knowledge, man. It was a blast. And like I said, go check out Brian's documentary, man. Documentary S Combine. A little walk through the combine. He is a wealth of knowledge. And like I said, he's still our hidden gem here because he helps us with all of our fantasy needs along with all of our football needs. And he talks a lot of shit about the 49ers being the most injured team in the league. So
something about that electrical substation. Something about that.
That EMF. Those EMF waves are really getting to him. All right, Brian. We'll catch you later. All right.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Hey, Brian.
Dr. Michael Hutchison has harnessed the latest in neuromuscular dentistry and impact technology to develop a mouthguard that does more than protect. It enhances. NeuroGuard Plus isn't just a mouthguard. By focusing on the jaw's physiological position, it provides an added layer of neuroprotection, significantly reducing the risk of sports-related neurological injuries. All athletes should be using a custom mouthguard designed to their bite position. NeuroGuard Plus was created as a means to maintain your physiological jaw position regardless of your bite. The appliance is designed to optimize your upper-lower jaw relationship to improve your strength, your balance, your oxygen intake, and drastically lower your chance of a concussion. Independent studies have shown that the NeuroGuard Plus will provide you with improvement to both upper and lower body strength. The same improvements were not present with a common mouthguard. Over 6,500 athletes have used the NeuroGuard Plus. Dr. Hutchison is happy to say that the amount of diagnosed concussions is 0.2%. The NeuroGuard Plus offers athletes, coaches, and parents an advantage to keep their players safe on the field. If you or your child actively participates in athletics, they need to be protected from the dangers of repetitive head trauma. Get your NeuroGuard Plus mouthguard today. Click on the link and use code ILP Sports for 10% discount on your purchase.
All right.
All right, and we are back. And it seems like Coop didn't have a little slideshow for the free agency, little transition. Coop, you better work on that, buddy.
Production team, bud. Production.
Come
you get to list the off season.
Man. He gets to stay at home and rest, and we got to be over here, and we're all alone over here. And we don't even have something to put on. Come on, Coop.
Don't worry, I got my notes.
But you know what? I found something for us. Let's get this little breaking news thing going here.
Breaking news. The boys from TSS Fantasy still don't know what the hell they are talking about.
Look at my boy Kid in the comments going crazy about his Broncos. Yeah, got free agency, bud. It's too early. You got time, buddy.
Okay, man. You got to chill out, dude. The Broncos, are they still paying Russell Wilson over there, bro? Come on, man. You're still paying Russell Wilson. I think the contract actually goes up.
I think it ends this year. They got the money off. They got the money off the books. They'll be all right.
Yeah. Russell Wilson's over there making $55 million one more time. But this free agency's kind of been a little bit crazy. Let's go through the comments real quick. Daniel Barry, always a pleasure, man. What's up? How you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful off season. Let's see. Move it on down. Shit, production, man. He got the cheers sign up here. He's got a beer. Let's cheers it up. We got the YouTube sweaty.
YouTube sweaty.
Yeah. At first, I thought it said YouTube sweetie. I was like, "Oh, what the heck? YouTube sweaty."
And then, of course, the commissioner has to chime in with his favorite addition, Malik Willis. We'll talk.
I mean, that's not a bad place. Yeah, that's not a bad place to start.
Yeah. And then K Kush with the What's Good fam. But anyways, let's get to it, Fred. Let's get it started, man. The first deal of the day was Alec Pierce for $31 million a year to the Colts. He stays. Michael Pittman gets traded. this was a huge one, in my opinion, because you didn't want to have Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce on the same team because then you didn't want to draft these guys. Now you got your wish. Michael Pittman's on a different team. Alec Pierce is on the same team. This is big because in fantasy perspective, these guys are probably about the same level, probably going around the same rounds. What did you think about both these deals? Do you think Alec Pierce has the ability to step it up to that Michael Pittman level? He only had 47 catches last year. Does he have the ability to get 100 catches this year and really make an impact? And Michael Pittman, does he take away from DK Metcalf or does he help DK Metcalf?
First, I think you have to include the Alec Pierce signing with Daniel Jones. I mean, they were connecting and they went very well together before he got hurt. They were absolutely killing it. He was one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I've always thought of Alec Pierce as a big play receiver. Now he has to be number one basically. I think Michael Pittman takes away from DK Metcalf. I didn't like the way Metcalf looked last year. And I think Pittman will be if you want to say 1A to Metcalf's 1B, I think Pittman's going to be the actual one catching the ball over there in Pittsburgh, especially if it's Aaron Rodgers. I think Pittman's going to put the most work in. And I think obviously Alec Pierce being by himself, who's the other receiver in Indiana?
Josh Downs.
Josh Downs. I think it helps Alec Pierce only. I think he is the number one receiver there. I think he's going to get obviously more receptions, touchdowns, and yardage. So yeah, I think it helps Alec Pierce a lot, and I actually think it helps Pittman. It takes away from DK, but I think Pittman's going to be the number one in Pittsburgh. I think they both did good deals for themselves.
Yeah, K Kush agrees. The Colts signed Alec Pierce and Daniel Jones was big. Yeah, I mean, you got to stick with the crew that was getting you there, man. Those two were doing great stuff. And DK Metcalf, time is taken away from DK Metcalf. Yeah, I mean, he's starting to age. He's starting to age like sangria, man, not fine wine. He's starting to age like sangria.
Yeah, yeah. It didn't look. It didn't look too like the old DK Metcalf of Seattle. He looked a little bit slept slower. So.
I mean, that's what happens when your whole thing is talent. I mean, when you're just based off of talent and not technique, unfortunately, talent slips away. But yeah, I mean, K Kush also talking about Jonathan Taylor's going to benefit. 100% he's going to benefit. He's going to get more catches out of the backfield too. I think the big benefit's going to be Tyler Warren, that tight end guy. He is going to be getting 100 catches easily.
Does it hurt New England? Because New England was really after Alec Pierce, and they let their receiver go. What's his name? He went to Booty, right? He left.
Yeah. They lost Diggs. They cut Diggs.
Oh, they got rid of. They cut Diggs. That's right.
They cut Diggs for choking a chef.
Damn, bro. Good Lord Almighty. Yeah. So. I mean,
he said you can't burn my food. I'm a millionaire.
I actually thought Alec Pierce was going to New England. I thought he was going to be their number one. I think, it helps Daniel Jones that Alec Pierce is staying there. So I think all around, you know what? Now they're talking about it. I think I might. I would look into drafting Alec Pierce as my first receiver. So why not?
I mean, the question is, would you look into trading for Alec Pierce? Knowing all the stuff you know now, would you look into that? And would you try and make the move if it meant giving up like maybe a late first round pick?
Yeah, there you go. Especially. Mm-hmm.
But let's get to a couple other guys. You were talking about the Patriots. They did sign Romeo Doubs. How do you feel about that one? Because that's kind of like a guy who's been mid for a long time, but he's also been on a team with like 5 receivers and nobody's been a go-to. So you put him on a team now. He's officially the go-to guy. How are you feeling about that one?
I don't know. I mean, Diggs was a real number one. And who was their other guy? You said Booty left, right? Is he still there?
No, Booty's still there.
Okay. I know there was another receiver that left New England. I guess off the top of my head, I can't remember.
The other one is Pop Douglas.
Okay. I don't see Romeo Doubs had his chance in Green Bay to become the number one receiver, and he didn't. He didn't take the opportunity to do so. I don't think I wouldn't go all out my way for Romeo Doubs as a first wide receiver. I wouldn't personally. I don't think he tilts the needle in New England.
So my question to you is: if they draft a wide receiver, are you going to take the drafted guy over Romeo Dobbs?
Oh man!
If they draft somebody in the first round, say they draft like obviously not if it's like a
Carnell Tate or like he said a
Jordan Tyson.
Jordan
obviously you're not
Tyson.
getting those guys, but there's going to be guys on the back end of the first round.
I think you have to feed Romeo Dobbs. I still think at that point, if you don't get those two top 3 receivers, you have to feed Romeo Dobbs and see what you got there. But if you don't know, I don't want to get too far into it because it's free agency. But New England's schedule is very tough this year, nothing like last year. So Dobbs is going to have to put in that work, and he has to get with May quickly in the offseason, and they have to work together.
Yeah, and you know what? May was slinging it around real well. I think Romeo Dobbs will be fine, but I agree with you. I don't think he's the number one option. I don't think he's somebody you really look at as number one option. Let's get a couple other ones. We had some huge ones. We had Ken Walker, Travis Etienne go off the board, and we had Mike Evans go to Frisco.
I did not see that.
49ers, baby.
I did not see that. I thought he was definitely going to stay in Tampa Bay. I mean, he was the number one. Now, does that make San Francisco better? I think so. He's a legit number one. If he stays healthy, he's a big, strong, and he pulls down touchdowns, receiving yards, reception. I think that is perfect for San Francisco. They are a well-run organization. You got Purdy, you got McCaffrey. I mean, this guy can have a really big season if he stays healthy, and I hope he does. He gets hurt so much, but and then what does that do for Tampa? Buka, right? I mean, you got him and Godwin. Godwin's been hurt recently. I think that makes wasn't it Egbuka, right?
Egbuka, yeah.
I think he becomes the number one because he was showing he could be the number one when they were both hurt. So I think that helps Egbuka. I think great place to be for Mike Evans. The weather's great. The whole organization's great. I was just surprised he left Tampa. I thought he would retire a Buck.
100%. I thought he was going to be a Buck for life too. But I am very happy.
I'm sure you're
49ers right now. And I'll tell you what, you were just talking about the guys in Tampa effects. Brock Purdy, in my opinion, becomes a top 10 drafted quarterback in your fantasy draft. I have no problem going even top 5 because Mike Evans can put you over the top, and he has now 3 options for the red zone. He has McCaffrey, he has Mike Evans, and he has George Kittle when he gets back.
Yeah, when George Kittle gets back, you got something everywhere. Once they get their offensive tackle back, the one that they're negotiating with
Trent
Williams,
yeah.
They're going to be solid, man. They're going to be solid. I mean, Mike Evans, good for you. Good for you. And good for the 49ers for pushing Ayuk out the way and getting all this foolishness out the way. But Mike Evans, I would definitely be one of my first receivers picked if he's available.
100%. Travis Etienne, I like the move to the Saints, but at the same time, the Saints are kind of one of those organizations, they're bottom dwellers right now. They're not doing so much. They need to get better. Travis Etienne, Ken Walker.
Kamara.
I mean,
you still got.
I think they were trying to trade him. I think they were trying to trade him.
Traded yet. And so you got Etienne and Kamara in the backfield. It sounds like a great backfield. It really does because their quarterback is coming along. Tyler Shaw. I mean, he looks really good, but I mean, who really has 2 great running backs in their stable these days? Like, who pays for that? So I don't know.
Who's the smash to the dash? They're both kind of more like speed guys.
If they get rid of Kamara, Etienne shoots up. If they have to split, they both probably gonna be going down a little bit.
That's 100%. I think that's pretty much the best analysis on it. It's where these guys land, and where more importantly Kamara lands. But how would you feel about Ken Walker? I liked Ken Walker to the Chiefs.
Come on, man. That's got to be beautiful, man. I mean, they lose. Well, they don't lose. They just push Pacheco to the side. I believe he went to the
Lions.
Is it the Lions? Good for them. They lost Montgomery, but they traded him, whatever. But Kenneth Walker himself, playing with Patrick Mahomes, bring back Kelsey, Rashee Rice. I don't know who they're going to get in the draft, but because they were looking at Jeremiah Love, but now you got Walker. You don't have to spend that there. I mean, they are definitely remaking that offense, I think Kenneth Walker is going to have a great year because this is exactly what Kansas City wanted, a nice number one running back.
100%. And you know what? He doesn't really have to do too much pass protection because they most of the time put their running backs out to catch the ball. So you don't have to worry about that. He's gonna be a nice complement in that offense. And Kansas City might be back next year. I don't want to say
Yeah, I think so too. I don't want to get, I don't want to look like a Kansas City fan addict because my buddy lives in Kansas City. He's not on today, Sam. But I might go look at them this year because I want to see before they move out of Missouri, they move to Kansas to their new stadium.
Right.
I might go, but I think Kenneth Walker is going to be a star, bro. If I'm doing a redraft, he's available to me once first, second round, 100% scooping him up.
1,000%. I completely agree to that one. K. Kush, Trent Williams, he definitely should get the Brinks truck backed up. 100%. He has earned it.
He's old. That's the cool part about him. He's an older guy, but his play is still top notch.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been listening to a lot of guys around, and he actively transitions his game based on his age. So he knows he's not using a lot of more power anymore. So he's trying to use more leverage. I'm like, this dude he's on it. He's the smartest guy in the fucking room. I mean, he's 38 and he's still pushing around Myles Garrett like it's nothing. So, that says a lot. But yes, 100% should be backing that Brinks truck up. Okay, Kush also, plus Pat Mahomes needs the ball out fast. 100% he does. He is mean. Oh, yeah, I love it. Let's get to some other guys. We were talking about trades. David Montgomery, DJ Moore, they also got traded this offseason. Man, I got one question for you. Is DJ Moore, is he sliding into that 2-3 round in your redraft, man?
Bro,
that
I
potential
think,
is wild.
Listen, before Roma Dunze got to Chicago, this man was catching balls left and right, 1,000-yard seasons. Roma Dunze came in, hey, he has a lot. He took away a lot from DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is going to have a fantastic year. He is exactly what they want. Hey, most people be like, oh, we could have got A.J. Brown. We don't know nothing what's going to happen with A.J. Brown. DJ Moore is there. He's solid. He doesn't get hurt. Best ability is availability. That's DJ Moore. 1,000 yards easily this year. Easy.
I probably have to agree with that. I think this is going to be like Stephon Diggs when he was in Buffalo. He's just going to make you go, oh, man, I got to get that guy on my team. Stephon Diggs was having 1,000 yards, 10 touchdown seasons like it was nothing. Josh Allen, his value never changes. I mean, I don't think it can get better, but I guess it probably will. But, yeah, I mean, speaking of quarterbacks.
You said Montgomery. Let's see. Who was the running back last year for the Texans? Woody Marks. And he's still there. Now, here goes the thing. Now, is Montgomery going to be used like they did with Gibbs Montgomery? Because Woody Marks was no slouch. I mean, I like Montgomery. I mean, he's a strong back. Does it up his value? I'm not too sure, to be honest. I'm not too sure.
I think it's probably the Texans talking about –
I got caught off guard. Those are the producers in the back. Caught me off guard with that
one. Oh man. Hey Fred, at least you're not in the doghouse, bro. But yeah, no, I like Montgomery. I think you probably looking at this as they're just not trusting Stroud as much. They got to get the ball away from him and they got to get it into confident hands. They were missing Joe Mixon a lot last year. I don't think he's ever coming back. Something tells me that guy's retiring. But, I like Woody Marks, but at this point, I don't think I want to hold on to him. I think I want to get rid of him. He wasn't a high draft pick. He's somebody who, in my opinion, skill-wise is expendable. So I kind of go, maybe push off of him. Montgomery could be a nice Band-Aid for a year. But, I still think the Texans in a year or so will be looking for another running back. But since our producers have chimed on, I want to put out there, what do you feel about Malik Willis coming to America, Steve?
So here goes the thing about Malik Willis. He was probably rated the top quarterback free agent or trade asset. Now, I don't know what to expect of Malik Willis. He went down. Jordan Love went down. He came in for 3 weeks, played good, and now and now he goes to the Miami Dolphins. But now the Dolphins don't have Tyreek Hill. They say Waddle is on and off the field over time with injuries. So, and I mean, they have a good running game. If Malik Willis is what they say he's going to be, like everybody was boasting about him, it's a good pickup for Miami. Can't do no worse. I mean, Tua was bad. So yes, I think Malik Willis should have a good year. Waddle needs to step up as the number one. Achane, keep doing what you're doing, but Malik Willis, this is his shot for a couple of years to show that if he's a good quarterback or not. If not, they're already talking about the 2027 draft quarterback class. So if he comes out there and does shit, Miami's gonna have a nice high pick to be fighting for that number one, them top quarterbacks.
I was just thinking this one, Jason, too. He gonna waddle his ass off the field every game. You always say.
But this is his shot, man. I mean, he has to step up. He has no Tyreek. You got to step up, man. You are the number one. You are the man out there. I mean, they can't blame Tua. I mean, I guess, man. Look, do you want to move on to Tua too? I mean, I don't know why Atlanta just went stir crazy for Tua. Like they just, as soon as he became available, they were like, and there's rumblings about Atlanta. Like, bro, I mean, what are you going for? Have you not watched Tua play the last few years? Like you got two not very good. I don't like Penix neither. So does that help Tua?
They had Penix and they had Kirk Cousins still actively on the roster, and they said, yeah, let's go get another broken quarterback that can't fucking win in the big games. Let's go get another one.
So let's do it like this. Malik Willis up because now he's a starter. Tua down, Penix, because you still got Bijan and all these weapons. If you fail this time, Tua, your career is over, bro. Because you got you got Bijan. You got what's the tight end over there? Help me out here.
Pitts.
The tight end. Pitts. You got Pitts. You got London. I mean, dude, what else do you need? Like, come on, Tua. I mean, you're playing in a dome. They're giving you everything you want, and they gave you a year contract to show it. And they only paid $1 million, so I guess they're okay with
Yeah, all I can say is Kyler was about to hit the market, and you decided to go for Tua. I get it. Kyler likes to play video games. He's short, but he ain't broken. He ain't broken.
And don't forget, they also signed Jahan Dotson over there. So now you got a really good receiver with London, and Dotson's not bad. I mean, he's a good 2-3 receiver. So I mean,
how could we ever forget about Jahan? I haven't done anything in my career, Dotson.
You're right, but hey, they're not going to be worried about you. They could be worried about Drake London. So Tua, hey man, this is your shot. But I like that you brought up Kyler because how lucky are you to leave Arizona? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the tight end McBride, but you're leaving Arizona. You're getting paid by Arizona. You get an extra $1 million by the Vikings, and they say, here you go play with Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson, Addison. Like here you go, show what you got. And they sit their number 10 pick, JJ McCarthy. Kyler is totally upside. I have him on my dynasty team. I'm keeping him now because now I have the combo because I just traded for Jefferson a few weeks back. Let's see. Kyler cannot mess this up. Kyler's on the rise.
I got to ask you this real quick. Jacoby Brissett is scheduled to be the Arizona Cardinals quarterback.
I like him.
Jacoby Brissett, 100% of the day, or 100% of the time, is better than Michael Penix and Tua, correct? Like, as a fantasy option. As a fantasy option, you're looking at those three. You're looking at those three back to back. You're clicking Jacoby Brissett every time, right?
Yep, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. So go out there. If you're thinking in a 1 QB league, I need a second QB. Just wait till the end. Jacoby Brissett's going to be there, and he's going to throw for Big Ben numbers.
He's having 250, 300, 325-yard games, and he still got McBride. So that's his go-to. Like, you still got McBride.
And Harrison.
Yeah, you have Marvin Harris Jr. You still got him. I would pick Bridgewater. I mean, Kobe Brissett before any of them guys. Like Tua, Pet, any of them guys, man. Any of them.
Yeah, 1,000%. Well, you know what, guys? I just want to do this. Fred, we're kind of running a little bit on
Yeah, we're
time
running out of
here.
time. Mm-hmm.
So give me a quick synopsis. 3 guys that you think are going to benefit from going on a new team, and then 3 guys that you think are going to benefit from somebody leaving their team.
Let's do the benefit from moving to a new team.
You know what? Just give me one. Just give me one. Give me the one guy you think is going to be his ADP is going to skyrocket because he just went to this new team.
It has to be Kyler Murray, right? I mean, then you get thrown into the best position possible. I mean, Flores is a great defensive coach. You got 2 great receivers. You have a great tight end, decent running game. I mean, Kyler Murray is 28 years old. You have the chance to solidify your future in Minnesota, bump out McCarthy if you have a great year.
I like it. I like it a lot. I think mine would probably have to be Ken Walker, just because he went from being this guy that was kind of like a middle of a round handcuff to a guy player to he's got no handcuff. He's given the green light. He's been given the money, and he's got a great offensive mind behind him. I think he immediately jumps up to a first or second round type of guy. And then for my guy who goes up from being, from somebody leaving or somebody coming in, I'm going to say Ricky Pearsall. I think Ricky Pearsall, his stock goes up. Listen, hear me out. I'm a 49er fan at heart, 100%. But if you get this guy for 14 games, I think he catches 120 balls because I think they're going to move him to the slot. Mike Evans is going to be there as the perimeter guy. I think they're going to get somebody out there as the Z, and I think they're going to put him in as, or they're going to put somebody at the Y, and I think they're going to put him in at the slot. And I think he's just going to go off kind of like JSN did. So I'm going to go with that. I think he's going to be a perfect play for that. Who is somebody that you saw is going to go off because they left?
Real quick. Yes, Kush, I definitely agree with you. We already said it at the opening. Mike Evans going to go ballistic this year. Absolutely crazy. Somebody that will benefit from them leaving has to be Alec Pierce. You get to show who you are, number one. Now, they paid you a lot of money. They paid this man, 4 years, 120 million, but 30 million each. And we didn't really know how good he was. He has to be good. And then they move Pitts. I mean, Daniel Jones should be okay by week 1. So I think Alec Pierce should benefit from Pittman leaving, Michael Pittman leaving.
Yeah, I mean, he immediately starts it as the X receiver, the perimeter guy. Hopefully, he starts to work on his routes, and hopefully, he's catching 100 passes. I completely agree with that one. Our producer put up a really great question here. Let's talk about when are you drafting Charbonnet, and what's the holdover guy for those weeks? Well, Jason, I think the holdover guy is going to be drafted. I think his name is Jadarian Pierce or Price. And I think he might end up being a little bit better than Zach Charbonnet. At least he's faster.
Let me write that down. Yeah, I mean, and then obviously there's a lot of teams that did other things. Like you said, and some teams made some weird moves, like Wan'Dale Robinson, Tennessee. Is he the number 1 now? They paid him like a number 1. I mean, would I take a flyer on him first 3 rounds? Absolutely not. So, I don't know.
But who do you think is going to take over for Seattle while Charbonnet's recovering? Do you think somebody on the market right now, like Rachaad White already left? That was one name we thought maybe could go there.
Yeah, I don't know about who. I think
Brian Robinson's still out there, but also this class is not really loaded after Jeremiah Love. Like, I think Jadarian Pierce is the only other guy who's kind of thought of as like maybe a second round pick. There's Nick Singleton, which we were talking about with Brian, but he's also injured. What's the point of bringing an injured guy in to replace an injured guy?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, you would have to look into when we do the draft show. I mean, we have to look into that. I really don't see who for sure. I mean, you said probably. I have no clue, to be honest with you. I think that's something that you
Yeah.
have to draft.
Yeah, I mean, all the rumors are saying that it's going to be a draft, and I would think Jadarian Price seems like a good fit. But Kush had a good segue to our next, our final question of the day is who got better
Who
with the
got
first week of the
better?
draft? Who got better? Who's the one team that you say overall? It's not even fantasy football. You just look at this team and you say, they got better.
I think if we're not talking about free agents, we just talk about a straight up football itself. I'm gonna go with the Giants. I think you got the giant New York Ravens now over there with Harbaugh. I mean, he brought in Likely, bring in Mooney. You're gonna get Scatterbo back. You're getting Neighbors back. You getting a healthy Dart back. You got the number 5 pick in the draft. If you wanted to take Jeremiah Love or Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson, I mean, I think the Giants got considerably better. I mean, enough to where they should be able to fight Dallas and Philadelphia for the division. So, and obviously, I know this ain't Joe Shine making all these spectacular moves. Harbaugh has a lot to say about all these moves that they are making right now. So I think the Giants got considerably better.
I would agree. And everybody's here. The Jets got better. The Panthers defense. I agree with a lot of that.
The Jets defense got better.
The Jets defense got better. Brees Hall might not have gotten paid, but the Jets defense definitely got better. Did you see him tweeting out, spending a lot of money over there? I got you, man. I got you, dude. I hear you. I mean, pay the man. Pay the man. If you're gonna make him miserable, at least make him rich. But you know what? I'm gonna agree with Cush's first answer. The Titans got better.
They got better. They got better.
Overall, you were talking about the New York Ravens. The Titans became the Tennessee Giants because they just kept scooping up Giants players. They got Bellinger. They got Robinson. I think they got a defender from there.
The cool part is they're talking about pre-draft about taking Jeremiah Love to protect that quarterback. I mean, they get him, we may be talking about something different after their draft.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right because now you go out and you get that running back, that key piece, and once you get a running back, that's when you really start to feel like you're a good team, or at least you're a team on the rise. You got the number 1 pick from last year. You got a couple of solid receivers. It's going to be fun to be a Tennessee Titans fan next year. I'll tell you that. But anyways,
I know we got to go soon, so definitely. Last question I have to ask of you, and then we're gonna go because we know which team didn't get better. Obviously, it was the Dolphins. But does Rico Dowdle hurt Jalen Warren in Pittsburgh?
100% he does. I think he hurts him worse than Kenneth Gainwell did because I think he hurts him as a running back and not just a pass catcher. Kenneth Gainwell took away from the pass catching aspect of Jalen Warren's game. I think Rico Dowdle is just a better running back than Jalen Warren.
There we go. And do you want to chime in real quick before we go? Who got worse?
Who got worse? Yeah. I'm gonna say this. It's hard for me to be unbiased with this one because obviously I hate all the teams in my division. But I'll say this: I think Seattle got worse because they just didn't go and spend the money they should have on getting the guys back that they had. They had a young core, they had the money, and they decided to let Mafe and Reek Woolen leave and Ken Walker leave, and you just kind of go, well, you've got the 32nd pick, and it's not a real good draft for debt pieces. You kind of need to go out and get like a top end running back and like get like another couple edge rushers, and they just kind of decided to sit back and just let all these guys go. So that's where I said, like, obviously, like I said, I try to be unbiased, and I know I hate the team, but I looked at a Super Bowl team kind of, break down a little bit, and I was like, you had money. You had money to make it happen.
Maybe they're gonna draft well. Well, I guess we'll figure it out. I honestly, of all the teams, I know I like to bust Jason's balls, but they did get worse. They did. I mean, they did, man. Yeah. Besides the quarterback, because we don't. The only reason is we don't know what the quarterback is gonna bring. And you know what? I think New England didn't do nothing to help themselves neither. Just a little cush. They got DJ Moore as the number one receiver now, so that's the significance I think that the Bills did. I don't think New England has done anything to help themselves, and they know next year they're gonna have a way harder schedule. I think you got to get May a true receiver, and not Romeo Dobbs. I mean, better than Dobbs.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, like you said, their schedule is not getting better. And
brutal next year. Brutal.
What I will say is they did get some offensive line help, and they are trying to protect him better. But yeah, you need weapons, dude. You need weapons, and they kind of lack on that. They didn't even go and try and get somebody big. Go get. You don't have to get Alex Pierce, but maybe try and draft or try and trade for AJ Brown.
Oh, it's still out there. We'll see. That's what I'm saying. We'll know a lot by time the draft comes around, because people are going to start making trades during the draft. So by the time our show comes on after the draft, we'll have a lot more. We'll know a lot more.
1,000%. Well, Fred, I'm glad we actually did this, because for a second I was thinking this was going to be like old times where we were going to talk about it and we weren't going to do it. But I'm just glad we did it, and I'm glad we're planning on a draft show as well.
Yeah, but, maybe some of the guys that come on the next one, maybe OJ. So we'll get a couple of. Maybe we can get somebody to come on, like a fan or something. Maybe Mr. Kush will come on next time. Hey, Kush.
Put your number in the chat, Kush. We'll hit you up. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for once again tuning in to TSS family. We love you guys, and TSS Fantasy will be back for the draft. You don't got to wait for us for 5 years like Marvel. We will be back for the draft.
Yep. Remember, old lives matter.
All right. See you.
We out.